Today we are doing a short beard trim. This video is for anybody out there who wants a consistent, faded, tapered looking beard, something that makes you look and feel amazing. My name is Anthony, I'm one of the co-founders here at Live Bearded, and I have spent a few years figuring out the perfect beard trimming routine for myself, for my beard, and for the look that I want. And what I want to do today is show you guys exactly the routine that I go through, and hopefully this will help inspire you to create a grooming and a trimming routine specifically for yourself, one that gives you the exact beard look that you guys want. So let's get it started. All right, so we're gonna trim our beard in 3 stages, okay? So the first stage is gonna be the side, and then the second stage is gonna be kind of in the middle, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna fade the sides into the middle, and then in the third stage, we're gonna go along the bottom, trim up the neckline, tighten up the edges, and make it look fantastic, okay? But before we get started, I wanna show you guys what we're using today. First thing you need is a great beard trimmer. I'm a little bit biased, but I recommend the Live Bearded MT1. So we got this guy right here. We got tons of different guards. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with a 15 right here in the middle, make sure that has a longer, kind of pointier look in the front. Then we're gonna move to a 12, then a 9, and then work on fading it together. But an MT1 is critical. Obviously, you gotta have a good comb, brush it out, and then I have kind of sensitive skin, especially underneath the bottom of my neckline, so I don't like to use a straight razor. I've actually used just one of the Philips kind of like electric straight razors, if you will, and this helps get it really, really close, but it doesn't give me some of the razor burn and things like that I get on the bottom of my neck if I just use a straight razor. So we're gonna dive in. We've got the MT1, we've got a straight razor or something similar to that to line it up and make it look tight, and then a comb to keep it, going through and making sure that it's consistent. All right, to get started, I like to start in the front and really just shape the length of the front so I can blend the sides to it. So I'm gonna start out with the guard 15. This is gonna give me kind of an 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch length right here in the front. And then I'm gonna blend all of the sides to the front to give me that look and the shape that I'm going for. One thing that's important to note here is I'm not following the exact contour of my beard, of my chin, on the way down or on the way up. What I'm really doing is I'm going straight down here and I'm going straight out here. Because if you follow the contour of your chin exactly, then it's going to make your beard look uneven. All right, so you wanna be careful with this step. You wanna make sure that you're not just tracing your exact jawline on the way down or on the way up. You wanna kind of contour it to how you want the shape to look. So that's super important. Another good point to make is I trim my beard every week. So there's never a lot that comes off. I've created this routine so I can keep my exact same look and have it be very consistent day to day, week to week. So really all I'm doing is trimming off a week's worth of growth and tightening it up and shaping it. But you guys can follow this same style and get the exact same consistent look that you want. All right, after we got the front, I'm gonna move to a guard 12 and just kind of start to fade the same way and the same sides. And we're gonna go to a guard 9. And this is where I'm gonna get really tight on the sides, start to fade this up. The only place on my beard that I actually go against the grain is here on the sides, because I want the sides to be as tight as possible, and then you'll see I'm starting to work down the rest of the beard to taper it. For me, I like my mustache to be a little bit shorter, if you will. So what I've found works really well for me is to use the same guard as I use on my sideburns and kind of in this back part along my mustache as well. So this is gonna be a size 9. And what that does is it kind of makes this top part of your beard, maybe if you think about from like right here across, is gonna be all consistent. It's gonna be the same size. So from here down and across, I'm gonna use a 9. And that's gonna make it look lighter up here, but then it's gonna fade into a thicker, fuller beard on the bottom and ultimately give you kind of that tapered look that pulls everything forward. So this is a super important part in the step. This is something I learned through trial and error and a lot of beard mistakes. So hopefully I can save you guys the agony of fucking up or making a mistake and then having to just be patient and let it grow back out. So you guys will see, I'm gonna go up against it and then basically, again, I'm drawing a line kind of from here across for me, and everything above that line is gonna be approximately a 9. As you guys can see, we've got it kind of thinner and tapered here. It's kind of coming down. We're starting to get the actual kind of shaped look that we want. The next step in the process is gonna be just take the straight red edge and I'm just gonna kind of make my lines solid here, trim the mustache, and start to frame out the edges of the beard. And with this step, you know, some guys like to use a mirror and look at it. Just kind of depends on your comfort level. Take it slow here. I've messed this back line up a few times. It's a problem zone because you can't see it super well. So I like to kind of pull it back and then be able to just line it up. And ultimately, I'm trying to just create a straight line that comes down, right? And when you do it freehand by yourself, it takes a little bit of practice, but eventually you'll get in there and know exactly how far to go. So next, we're gonna line up the mustache. For me, I literally put the blade of the MT1 right on the top of my lip, and then I just slide it across the top of my lip to make sure that my mustache is contoured directly to the top of my lip. So I literally use my lip as a guide, and I just put the blade right on the top of my lip and bring it across. That's the nice thing about the MT1. You can literally just rest this little piece of metal right here on your lip. There's no chance that it's gonna cut you or do anything like that. And then you get to use your lip as a line so you don't have to worry about having a zigzag mustache, which I have done a few times. The one side's a little higher and then you're like, shit, do I make the other side higher? Do I just make it look even until it grows back out? It's kind of like the lesser of two evils. So use your lip as a guide for the top line. All right, now we got the back set on both sides. We've got the mustache done. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set our bottom line across the I guess across the neck. And the best advice I can give you here is don't go too high, too fast. Start a little bit lower, kind of set the line, and then you can always tighten it up if you want to bring it up a little bit. But if you go too far, you just gotta wait for that to grow back out, and that can be kind of a pain in the butt. So we wanna start by just kind of going right above our Adam's apple, and we're gonna set the line from the side, come across to the front, kind of stop right here, and we're going to the other side and set the line from this side. And I like to think about this as two lines coming together. So if you imagine the beard comb as a line, we want to create a line that comes across like that, and then a line that comes across like that, and then we want to round it out in the middle. But this is going to help you get a really consistent line. And again, I like to do this freehand. I know there's some tools out there that can help you do it, but for me, it's just easier to do it with my hand, and the more practice and the more you do this, the easier it's going to become. Once I have a little bit of a line set there, you guys can use the straight razor. I use the one blade from Norelco just because it's electronic, it's easier, and it irritates my skin less. But once you have the line set, then you can go through with your straight razor and then start to clean it up. Now you got most of your neck cleaned up. Now I'm gonna really turn around. I'm gonna start to make that line really sharp and straight and fill it in to make sure that it lines up from the point of my jaw to the front and vice versa. I'll tell you guys, when you're doing it yourself, there's a couple of difficult spots that you're gonna have to get good at, and oftentimes a side mirror really helps with it. But again, it's this back line here, and it's the connection of the bottom line to the back line. And ideally, you wanna just draw a straight line down and a straight line over, and you want those to be able to connect. And you know, because it's kind of at a weird angle, it can get a little bit difficult to line that up perfectly. So again, it takes some practice. Sometimes it's nice to have a side mirror to be able to look and really make sure that you can get that line as fine as possible. All right, so now that we got the bottom line set, I think it looks pretty good. We're gonna just follow the top line down This is totally personal preference. I think you want to keep your top line as high as possible, right? A lot of guys will trim it down too low and it makes their beard look thinner or smaller than it might actually be. So just use your natural line and try to figure out as high up as you can grow it, and then just connect that down to your mustache. Now, if you're one of those guys that's blessed with a heavenly hedge and it freaking grows up to your eyeballs, well then you got a little bit more work to do to figure out exactly where you want to set that line. But for me, my natural line, as you guys can see, ties in right here to the corner of my mouth, which is the look that I want. And so again, if you have a straight razor, you're just tightening that line up and making it look super sharp. For me, I use the electric one. And as you guys will see, I feel that it's easier to get the line set by kind of inflating your cheeks a little bit or moving your face around. So when I'm doing it, you'll see me go like this. So that way I can get more of a cleaner line. That works for me, might not work for you. These are just little tricks that I've picked up along the way. And the best thing I can say is because we all have slightly different beard lines or thicknesses or whatnot, you want to just figure out what works for you. But the biggest lesson I've learned is the shaping with the guards, starting in the front, setting it from the front, and then tapering it to it in the front. All right, starting to look pretty good. All right, so we've got it to really the final stage, and what we're gonna do here is freehand, just kind of shape up the front a little bit. As you guys will see, there's some kind of flyaways, and you get kind of this part right here in the middle where there's a little bit of extra length, and you can kind of shape that to the way that you want it to look. If you want your jaw or the bottom of your beard to be flat, you know, and have more of a squared look, you can do that. If you want more of a pointed look, you can do that. But this is where you're gonna kind of put that final touch on your beard. For me, I like to have it kind of a rounded point. I don't want it to be super sharp. I want it to contour and kind of look like my natural jaw line would look. So we're just gonna finish that final shaping and then we'll be done. Go. As you guys can see, I'm a big fan of keeping it super simple and creating a very simple routine, both with beard grooming, right? Wash and condition, oil, butter, our 3-step beard routine with Live Bearded to really groom your beard as well as possible, but then also trim it, right? If it's really well groomed but unshaped and unruly, it's not gonna look as good. So just like you create a simple beard grooming routine, you wanna do the same with a trimming routine. And if you're like me, you like to do it yourself, which means you want to figure out how to get the exact shape that you want using specific guards and creating your own kind of routine. As you saw with me, I start in the front, and I think that the length in the front is what sets the rest of my beard. And so I'm always tapering to the front of my beard. And again, I do that with a 12 or a 15 here, then a 12, then a 9. And I've kind of developed this routine over time that makes me look and feel my best. So if you want to always look and feel your best, you've got to have a great grooming routine and a great trimming routine. And I highly recommend you check some of our products out at Live Bearded. I promise they're fantastic. If I'm wrong, we got a 365-day money-back guarantee. But drop me a comment below. Let me know if this trimming video was helpful for you. What do you guys think? How did I do? Rate me in the comments below. What do you think from the front? We got the side. How does the taper look? The line in the back? The taper to the front. My hope is that this was helpful for you guys, but again, drop me a comment below, let me know. At Live Bearded, we're here to help you look, feel, and be your best. If you need anything, shoot us a message, give us a phone call, drop us a comment below. We created this company for one reason, and that was to support our bearded brothers out there. So let us know what you think, and as always, live bearded.